What's up guys, welcome back to yet another video. Today is a fairly special one, at least to me, because it is a glass shrimp. I will be tying it in white today, and I've kind of figured out a way to, I wouldn't say make it easier, but the step with the legs can be kind of finicky, and if you buy it on spools like I do sometimes, it can have some memory in them, and it probably doesn't matter, but it looks kind of weird with the legs pointing in all directions. But I figured out a way to get around that, and that is by using these easy shrimp legs from a Danish company called Easy Shrimp Eyes. These are really cool, and the legs are straight, so that's something that satisfies my brain a lot. Before I do anything, I just want to say thank you to all the new members over on the members section. Chris Werlech, Simon Maigor Bernd, Stefan K, Grey Fox Outdoor, and Runa Dankel. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a member of this channel. If you guys keep this up with the people jumping over on the member side, who knows what level it could take this channel and this community. So please do consider becoming a member of this channel and help fund all of this fun stuff we've got going on. So that being said, let's jump down to my vise right here and tie out a white version of the glass shrimp. So this is a special fly to me because it's kind of my flagship, I guess you could say. It's even a part of my logo, the old one actually, but still it's also a part of the new logo. And the story behind it is, I guess everybody wants a pattern of their own, but it's really hard these days to come up with a pattern of your own even. And I guess you could discuss if this is even a pattern of my own. The main inspiration to this fly came from a Danish fly tyer called Rune Westphal, and his one is called the Magic Shrimp, and it's upside down. I don't like upside down flies all that much because you have to weight them a lot, and if you look at the hook like this in the vise, he bends it the other way. And then all the materials up here. But the problem with that is, I'm not dissing your fly, Rune, not at all. It's a very beautiful fly and great fly design. But sometimes what happens when you tie these flies is that the gap between the hook shank here and the hook tip, which is where you want to hook the fish, gets a little bit too small, and therefore crippling the hooking capabilities a little bit. So that's why I said to myself, there's got to be a way around that. And then I just fiddled with it, and out came some really ugly versions of this glass shrimp in the early days. So this is kind of the stage where it's at now. So let's get some dubbing in on the hook here. You can of course tie this one in all sorts of colors. If the shrimps are orange where you live, tie it in orange. If they're blue, tie it in blue, whatever. Here where I live, they're mainly very transparent or dark brown or grayish. Okay, so you can of course leave the step out by bending the hook as I do, but it really helps to give that profile. I have one here in tan I did the other day. See it here. It really helps to give it that shrimp look. Where is my dubbing brush? Which I still haven't fixed, by the way. Is this bad preparation or what? I haven't used this one for years. I almost my OCD just can't handle this one getting dirty, so I only use it as a needle. The other one is here, so brush that out. And I guess this step is exactly the same as it is for all my shrimps. Always use a little bit more time on the head. Like so. I think you could do with a little bit more, and I bet you knew I was going to say that. I want to try something here. Try to just put it around the hook like this to kind of cover up these thread wraps, because that will you will be able to see that through the resin. So here we go. That's looking pretty good, right? So get a small bump in here for something the eyes can rest on. And I've done this fly where I kind of just glue the eyes on, you can say, put a small drop on the shrimp shell. Just, how to say it? I like to put on a small dot with a permanent marker in black, and then place a drop of UV resin on top of that, and that will really give the impression of an eye. But since these easy shrimp eyes in extra small came out, I've stopped doing that actually. So that's the head part of the fly done there. Eyes. So if you're wondering about that member section right now, what you get in return is early access to my videos. And you might not know that, but I am usually a few videos ahead of myself, because my upload schedule is Thursday evenings. But sometimes I do want to have a little bit of free time, so most of the time I'm 2 to 4 videos ahead of myself, and I upload them, and they kind of just go online by themselves. So you do get early access to those videos if you're a member of this channel. And I kind of want to do more of these giveaways, just to give a little bit something back. Sadly, I'm not allowed to, by YouTube, to only do giveaways for the members, because I guess that would be cheating to ask somebody to support the work of a YouTuber by telling them they can win free stuff. And I kind of agree with that, but my channel is not that big. And not only does it cost me time to make these videos, I also have a full-time job on the side, so sometimes it's a struggle, okay? I'll be brutally honest with you. I would love to do more of these kind of things. It's not that easy always. Let me put it that way. So, just covering up the hook here with some dubbing. Make sure you make a good taper on that. So around here. And then I want to where's that dubbing brush? Brush the top of the fly forwards to kind of close this gap you sometimes get between the first dubbing I tied in here and the eyes. I think it looks absolutely silly if there's air in between. And then I want to get in some of these super hairs here, just on the top, to make some slightly longer feelers. This here, just flip over. That will be covering the whole fly with UV resin, so everything that's not super pretty here will be covered up either way. Just make sure that these super hairs are on top. Like so. Kind of want to spread them out a little bit. On top here. So they're kind of like a small fan. I don't even know if you can see that because it's also white, but you can see the length here it added. Last thing, I think it's oh no, it's not too thin. That'll work. Okay, and this fly doesn't even need a rib either. Onto a shrimp shell. I'll be using this one here from Pro Sport Fisher, the Woe, because it's a shrimp shell without eyes. That's what the VOE stands for. I live in Germany, so sometimes I get really confused in the languages because I am from Denmark, so I speak Danish and German on a daily basis, and then I talk English with you guys, so sometimes I get a little bit confused. Okay, so that's the shrimp shell on. Grab that piece there, but that's too long. We'll kind of stretch it like this. Come on. Stretch it when you cut it, and that way it will really tuck in under the thread wraps. If you do it right. I didn't. So let's get a wet finish in here, just the one. Cut off the tying thread. Won't be needing that anymore. So at this point you can really want to clean up some of that dubbing sticking out underneath the belly there, because it will all be covered with UV resin, except for the dubbing way up in front here, which will give the movement this fly needs. If you look at a shrimp, it doesn't really pulsate that much in the water. Most of the time they're just hanging there, and if they're in flight, I guess the legs or the feelers in front are the only thing that is moving, and you get that here. So this mimics a shrimp very, very well. Here we go. So before I do anything with the legs, I like to pull this shrimp back a little bit backwards, put on a drop of resin here, and kind of just work that into the materials. And you'll see why I did that. So work that in. Again, it doesn't need to be that pretty at this stage. So work that in and lift it upwards while you're looking at your fly, like so, and then just sap that with your lamp. And what that will do is it will, you can see it here, now it's already hardened, it will keep up that, I don't even know what it's called, the thorn, or the front part of the shrimp is kind of always standing up like that, at least when they're hovering. So that's that done. You can see it here. Looks really nice. And then you want to trim a little bit more. So the more thorough you are with this, the better the fly will look. Okay, so let me show you what I've done to this. These shrimp legs come on a they're molded, and they look like this when you get them. What I did was I plucked them out, and then I individually cut out every single leg. So now I have eight legs, which I can just glue in, which is kind of nice. I don't have to put any knots in there, and I don't have any memory in the rubber. So all in all, this is a very good product for this, I think. And the way to do it is to just put on a drop here and get the dubbing under control, like so. Both sides. And here it is very important that you start the fly, or the gluing part of the legs and all that, up in front, because if you start backwards, the legs are in the way, so you can glue in the other ones, or at least it gets a lot harder. And also you want to build up that taper. So start from up here, put in a layer, and then for every pair of legs, the fly will get thicker in front and thinner towards the back. So you're actually helping to build that taper if you do it in that order. So put on a small amount of resin, grab a leg. Now it's of course very hard for you guys to see on this side towards me, but I'll show you on the other one. So just hold the leg into the resin and sap with your lamp, and it gets some getting used to. But if you dial this down, it gets really, really easy. Let me show it on your side here. Put on a drop. If you put on a little bit too much, just distribute it all out over the rest of the fly. And that's a way to get around that. So. Also, these shrimp shells have lines on them. You can see it here, and that really helps to tell me where I need to put in the legs. And I put this one in on this side, right at the bottom of this black line. So that's what I'll be doing on the other side. So this way, it's also very easy to get the legs in. perfectly. There you go, just hold it into that UV resin. And this is just to make sure they're on there. You can pull these out at this point, but when you cover the rest of the fly, when the legs are glued in, and you give it one final layer, the legs will stay. You can't pull them out. You can, but they will break before that. So either way, the fly will be destroyed if a leg gets pulled off or if it breaks, right? So same thing. Put on some resin. And this pair I want on the next black line there. And also not all the way down on the belly of the fly, but more like on the side. You see that there? So more like on the side, or the downward facing side of the shrimp. Same thing here. Just put on a small amount. Cover this a little bit to help build up that taper. Grab a leg and your lamp, just hold it ready, and then just and here you really have all the time in the world to get this done, because the resin doesn't harden before you shine your lamp on it, unless you're sitting outside. But who works with UV resin outside, right? I most certainly don't. Third pair, going in, let's cover this, get up on the belly here a little bit, because it is very important also for this fly, if you want it to ride the right side up in the water, is that you place the most weight of this fly down here, just above the hook point. Otherwise this fly might flip over on the side or upside down. I mostly on the side. If you don't get this right with the drop on the belly, it can flip over on the side. So just keep that in mind. You need to get that drop on the belly there to kind of force it to turn the right way around in the water. And here you can really see it starting to take shape. Also, the previous versions of this only had 6 legs, because it was so. I think I have one here. Yes. So here's the other one, the OG. And here you can see what I mean with the memory in the jewelry thread. And this one only has 6 legs, because it's kind of hard to get them in back here. But not with these ones, I find. So on with the gluing here. And also just look at the fly, how it's coming together when you're doing this. And it's better to just put a little bit of glue on and then gradually build up the fly. You can also, if you find that the resin is sagging a little bit, you can just flip it over on itself like this and let it kind of sink down, and then flip it over. And here you have to be a little bit faster. And I've done this so much, so I've really dialed this in. And it might look super easy to me, which is, I guess it kind of is. But if you do something enough, you get good at it, right? So pair of legs here. Glue that down. And I think I want that a little bit down here. So it is a little bit finicky, and it really helps to have a vise that can turn like this, and then just look at it from the top and from the bottom, how everything is setting before you cure that resin. You can always take a piece of paper and brush it off, start over if you're not happy with the result. Last pair, same thing. Get that in, sitting. So these kind of crossed at the last step here. I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. So one thing you could do, if you're not entirely satisfied, which I'm not, I know I just said it's okay, but I want it over here. So you can just put on a drop of resin on the point where you glued in the leg, and then just kind of force it like this. Okay, so that's a little bit better. See how that belly is looking? I think it needs a little bit more work down here. So up between the legs. Back here. And I can see I got a little bit on that leg there, so just take that off. Might need to work a little bit with that dubbing needle because it's a little bit thinner. I can really get in there. Distribute this. Like so. Let me cure that before I make any more mistakes here. And that's the belly done. So now all there's left is to make the top side of the fly, and it should be done. So just start slowly with a thin layer all the way around that shrimp shell. And here you just want to cover it to give it that nice glossy finish. There we go. And here the trick is like when you're trimming deer hair or any fly in particularly. When you think that I should stop trimming now, you should stop turning. And when you think, maybe I should stop putting on glue now, that is exactly the time you stop putting glue on the fly. Otherwise it will just get too thick. So move it around a little bit, like so, and cure that. And now the legs are also very secure because they are covered with a good amount of resin. These aren't going anywhere. Man, this turned out so nice. So I guess you could color the legs with a marker if you're into that. But I don't know, I think this fly looks a little bit better with the legs as they are. I've done that sometimes with a marker, just cover the knots and a few spots on the legs to give the impression of small joints. But this one looks very nice as it is. So here you have one finished glass shrimp in white, but you can of course go crazy with all the colors. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a long one, so if you made it to the end, do give yourself a tap on the shoulder. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave this video with a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave some comments. Please do go over and check out that member section. And help decide the videos I want to, or the videos I will be making on this channel. And also on the members section I will be making some behind the scenes if you're wondering about how to make your own YouTube channel, or something about Instagram or reaching out to brands, stuff like that. If you want to know more stuff like that, check out the members section. You will find what you need there, or if you don't find what you need, write me, and in collaboration with all the other guys over there, we will make great content for just that. So check it out. See you guys in the next one.